New York Yankees fan post-mortem. So the World Series went 5, and the 2 games I attended at the stadium, games 3 and 4, those were the only games of this World Series that I watched. The other nights I was either working or I was out. Certainly got a lot of updates, people texting me and, oh, we're fucked, the usual stuff. Somewhere in the 90s, even as the Yankees had that incredible run of 4 World Series in 5 seasons, it started to be more and more difficult for me to sit through a 9-inning postseason game. And it's difficult to explain because there are plenty of people that just kind of casually watch baseball, maybe because of a spouse, but they're real football fans, for example. And they don't understand how you can get so worked up watching a baseball game because there is no or next to no action. It's just a lot of standing around. Walt Frazier, when he used to do the Knicks games, he would say, this is not really good offense. Everyone's just standing around. A huge part of baseball is everyone just standing around. But if you are a baseball lifer, you understand there are games that are almost unbearably tense from the first pitch. And that is something that cannot be replicated by any other sport. And it is a reason why it is so difficult for me to actually sit through a playoff game. Because when you're in the arena, it's different, or in the ballpark as I was. Yeah, the tension is there, but somehow with everyone around you, it doesn't hit the same way. Sitting at home, alone, watching a game on TV, no thank you, can't do it. So I did not, by choice, I did not suffer through Game 5, and I did not suffer through the disaster of the last bits of game 1. I just don't want to torture myself. I feel like it's almost a self-immolation kind of a thing. And let me also point out, there are huge, baseball of all the major sports has the biggest luck factor. It has the most refined skills. Let's face it, hitting a baseball is by far the most difficult thing to do in all of sports. I mean, you have a wooden object in your hand and you're trying to hit a tiny sphere flying through the air at 95 miles per hour. It ain't very easy to do. But I will say, as a diehard, lifelong Yankees fan, the 1996 to 2000 stretch where the team won 4 World Series in 5 years, they got one lucky break after another. One weird thing where a fantastic fielder made a terrible fielding play at the worst possible or best possible time. And sometimes it just be like that. In 96, the Yanks were in huge trouble in the first series, and Dean Palmer, who I think won 7 Gold Gloves at third, he just inexplicably threw away a bunt. And we won that game and ended up winning the series. And even in the World Series against the Braves in 96, Marquise Grissom was a phenomenal outfielder. He messed up a catchable ball. He just didn't catch a ball that he should have because he got his signals crossed with Andrew Jones. And the Yankees got a run and they won that game. There were so many moments where it looked as if the baseball gods were shining on the boys from the Bronx. And with the exception of 2009, which Alex Rodriguez pretty much put the team on his shoulders, and Andy Pettitte and CC Sabathia and Mariano, the Yankees got so many lucky breaks during the Torre era. I feel like they're still paying for it. And I don't believe in curses and all that kind of stuff, but I do believe there is something to luck evening out. Sometimes it takes decades. And when you have, for example, players who are really good in the field, you look at the Cleveland series that the Yankees won in 5. Now, the Yankees could have won all 5 games. It's kind of a joke. But they could have won all 5 games. And that was an Indians team. What do they have? Only 1 less win than the Yankees? It's not like the Yanks were a huge favorite. But you look at that series, and you had the shortstop, who's a terrific fielder. He screwed up 2 different plays in big spots and hurt his team. It's just the nature of baseball that there is ebb and flow within a game, within a season, within a series. And it feels like historically, the Yankees had been through such a dark period, not winning any World Series, Don Mattingly going through an incredible career and only making the postseason at the very end in his last year. And then out of nowhere, they win 4 World Series in 5 years. And they've only won the 1 since then in the last 24 seasons in 2009. If you believe in the baseball gods, I kind of feel like maybe there's something to it, although not really. But there is something to, if you keep getting lucky, you are going to start to get unlucky. You're going to have weird plays, things that don't make sense, and people who never make errors making errors. Because you know that pitchers fielding practice, they do it every day for at least an hour. It's not like they're not out there doing it. And fielders take hundreds of ground balls a day. They do every kind of scenario to try to keep people sharp. Shit happens. You know, it's baseball, Susan, and that cuts every way. And you could go out there next year, the Yanks could re-sign Soto and have a huge regular season, win 106 games, get bumped in a wild card round because it's baseball. You have a chance to win a World Series, you go for it. They came up short this year, but I don't regret not suffering through 4-hour games where from the first pitch I'm going nuts. No, it's not worth it. For some people it is. It used to be when I was in my early 20s, the amount of suffering that I did in 96, and I ended up winning a World Series, and every single game was torture. So don't feel bad if you don't want to commit the amount of time and the amount of mental, what would be the word? Agita? It's okay. You don't have to watch every pitch of every game to be a true fan. I'm still a true Yankee fan. I just don't like committing 4 hours of my life to nothing more than pure suffering. Sports suffering, of course. You know, I'm not being entirely serious. But no, never again will I watch every pitch of every game. I love the Yankees. I will always love the Yankees. I'm upset that they didn't make the World Series even more competitive. They certainly had a great chance to take the series back to Los Angeles and then, you know, see what happens. But the team, the organization had a good year. They certainly didn't look like a playoff team for most of the second half, and they were really terrific in the postseason. I mean, the Royals, they won in 4, and they completely dominated the Indians for huge stretches of that series. So you go out there, you lost to your historical rivals. You want to say a law of averages that the Yankees beat the Dodgers the first 5 times they played in the World Series. Now it's 8-4 historically. 8 wins Yankees, 4 wins Dodgers. 2 more things. I wish the Dodgers were still in Brooklyn. And I wish that the Yankees hadn't knocked down the old ballpark. I wish that the original house that Ruth built, I wish that was where we would still be going for the games. I'm upset that they took down the old park. New park's gorgeous. Bathrooms are very well spaced, much better than the old place. I just wish they hadn't taken it down. And I feel like there was a little bit of bad mojo, even though they won the World Series in the first year of the new park. I just don't think they should have knocked the place over. I wish that they hadn't. But that's my Yankee fan confessional, my 2024 baseball season post-mortem, and I hope you enjoy.